Hello and welcome to Emotionally Intelligent Entrepreneur Podcast. In this episode, we will be exploring stress management. What are the key components, influencing factors, and strategies you can start implementing to improve your self-regulation and experiencing stressful situations in a quality, different way? I'm your host, Alan Late, a personal development coach dedicated to empowering your entrepreneurial journey. This podcast is your go-to resource for personal development tailored specifically for entrepreneurs. Today, I want to share with you a perspective on stress that is crucial to changing the way you experience stressful situations altogether. On a biological level, stress is a body response to perceived threat. Also, stress generally is referred to as psychological perception of pressure and body's response to it. So perceived threat and psychological perception. Now, another aspect of life where stress is created, it is a response to unmet expectations. And this is exactly what I want to explore with you today. Stress is a response to unmet expectations. Now, our body wants everything to be predictable and controllable, where in a given situation, you expect something to happen, but it is misaligned with what you're experiencing. That triggers a stress response. This causes our system to take action and stabilize what is going on in accordance to what we want to happen, and we try to control it. Now, a stress response seeks to utilize strategies to control the situation, to making it align with your expectations in adaptive and maladaptive ways, meaning in ways that lead to favorable results and unfavorable ones. So, for example, when you enter a cold shower, but you expect warm water, then your system quickly jumps into action, turning the water off or getting out of the cold. Or when someone takes your support and help for granted, you most likely will want to tell them about the consequences and your disappointment. So whenever the expectation is not met in a situation, it causes us to react with stress, trying to control the narrative, trying to control what is going on. So stress is when your expectations are different from what you are expecting, or you encounter a situation that is different from your expectations. So some will hear it one way, some will hear it the other, but it's basically the same thing. Expectations differ to what is actually happening. Therefore, one of the first things that you can do in your life to improve the quality of the relationship and how your business is developing is experiencing and exploring your expectations. Now, you need to put in the work to understand which expectations are adaptive and serve you and your goals, and which of them are maladaptive, meaning they have served out their purpose and need adaptation. Let's explore the mind processes and the things that are going on around you, how it perceives them, and techniques that you can start utilizing to create change. So let's explore how the sensory information is entering our system and is being processed, which in neurobiology is called the stimulus. So everything you hear, everything you see, everything you smell, feel, and taste is being processed by our brain faster than we're capable of becoming aware of that processing happening. Now, this system is built on memories of past experiences and emotions attached to each type of stimulus. Now, if the situation is being interpreted as a threat based on past experiences, then our brain commands our body to react in a way that it has learned to overcome the threat and keep us safe. Now, knowing this empowers our capacity to know what processes are being launched during stress. And our capacity to self-regulate is a big part of emotional intelligence and the leadership skill set. Now, when we look at components of self-regulation, they include such things as catching the stress response, noticing it happen, consciously reevaluating the situation, and taking relevant action that will lead us to desired results. Now, to catch the stress response demands awareness of your emotions, understanding and differentiating them, and our physical reactions during those experiences. Consciously reevaluating the situation demands the capacity to challenge your own points of view, even if you initially perceived it in a wrongful way. So it's having the strength and vulnerability to admit being wrong and having an open mind. And thirdly, taking relevant action demands knowing what beneficial outcome you desire in that situation and what action can lead to the creation of that favorable and desirable outcome. And thanks to neuroplasticity, the capacity of our brain to form new neural pathways and quote-unquote erase the old pathways, we basically have a situation where the systems of reaction that are irrelevant start slowly to fade, and the new systems of understanding and action taking, they become so strong that the previous used to habits are just secondary now. They coexist, but within the brain, the more the neural pathways start to fire in an alternative manner, the stronger these neural pathways become, just like a muscle. When you train a group of muscles, they become stronger, they become more resilient, they become basically more capable. And then the weaker muscles fade away and become weaker. And the same thing happens with neural pathways. The pathways you practice, the pathways you strengthen. So if you want to create change, you need to train and develop the new neural pathways that create and lead to change. So this enables us to develop our brain's capacity to perceive the situation with different interpretations. And the leading research suggests that there is a function in the brain called memory consolidation and reconsolidation. Now, consolidation of memory is happening when we encounter and save original experiences. Something happened for the first time, we draw on our past experiences, interpret that a certain way, and save the new, not consequences, but rather the new situation in our memory. Reconsolidation happens when we recall memories, and after reliving them, they're stored back into our memory. So at the point when we recall our memories, they are labeled, meaning that current theories suggest that at the time our emotional memories are re-experienced, they are in a label state capable of being modified. And then once we re-experience the emotions and any modifications to those emotional experiences are complete, the memory is restored or reconsolidated with these modifications. And this is highly important to creating change with our mindset and the way we are capable of perceiving life. These methods are used in psychotherapy, and they are leading techniques to create real change for people that are challenged by their way of thinking and the way that their mind works. So taking into account that we want to create conscious change in things that are not the way we want them to, we are in a position to create change through using and utilizing the same processes. So utilizing cognitive behavioral techniques, we're capable of creating situations where we re-experience emotional stimulus, these situations with modification, and that leads to reconsolidation of already altered experiences. Now, this empowers us with the capacity to change the outcomes of stressful situations through the development of altered understanding of the situation and taking alternative beneficial action on the altered understanding with experiencing new outcomes. And this is crucial. A 3-step component usually is automatic interpretation leads to automatic reaction. What we need to do is create an alternative interpretation, an alternative course of action, take that alternative action and experience in and gain new outcomes, gain new experiences, and solidify them by acknowledging that happening. By reflecting on it and consciously becoming aware that we had an alternative thought, we took alternative action and gained alternative results to what we perceived could happen. Now, second influencing factor that I want to touch today, besides cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to rewire our understanding, it is exploring our personality. Now, one of the top beneficial tools and systems to enhance your self-awareness and the capacity to self-regulate, I believe, is the Enneagram. One of the biggest benefits of utilizing the Enneagram is that it enables us to develop a well-rounded understanding of key strategies your mind has learned to cope with your life. So some strategies that you have developed great soft skills, strengths, and adaptive behaviors that led you to hold the positions in your life that you are holding. And some strategies created cognitive distortions, biases, personal blind spots, and systems of interpreting the world around you and have negative impact on your work and relationships. So when we look at the topic of stress being triggered by unmet expectations, the Enneagram becomes an invaluable tool with the right approach. And one of the things that the Enneagram helps us to discover is that your Enneagram type strives to get specific experiences from life that it feels it is missing. And you have learned that through life, to get the satisfaction of what you strive for to experience is dependent on other people playing their role in your life. So you strive to coexist with other people, getting your needs met and navigating the needs of others, which is supported by your personal systems of beliefs and values. Your needs and things you strive to get through others coexist with fears of not getting those needs met, forming systems of expectations and reactions to unmet expectations. Now, discovering a personality through the Enneagram system helps you to uncover underlying systems of beliefs and expectations that trigger stress responses, which you can then take and work with them to create meaningful change in your work and relationships, utilizing cognitive behavioral techniques and developing self-regulation skills. Now let's look at several strategies that you can support yourself with for developing self-regulation and managing stress. One of the main things you need to start with is building awareness. Building awareness of the expectations that you have in your key relationships. So learning what you expect can help you better understand the stressful situations in the key relationships. Be it with your partner, with your husband, with your wife, with kids, with family, any key relationship in your life follows similar strategies and how you learn to cope with them. So what you need to do for each key relationship, write out the following. Number one is, what do you believe the other must, should, has to, ought to, and so on. So what do you believe the other must, should, has to, ought to, and so on. Secondly, what do you believe should be the standard for a person in that role in your life? So what expectations do you attach to the roles, like what a partner should be like, what a wife should do and be, what a husband should do and be, and so on, right? So it is, what do you believe should be the standard for a person in that role in your life? And there's no right or wrong. We need to allow yourself to write everything that comes. There's no right or wrong. There's no moral or immoral. There's no rational or irrational in this case. We need to draw everything to the surface, because otherwise we wouldn't know what honestly we need to pay attention to, no matter how rational or irrational it is. And thirdly, What are you commonly unhappy, frustrated, angry about in your relationships? And what do you want to see happen differently? And this is the first step to change, building awareness. Secondly, is catching yourself in a stress response. So as mentioned, catching yourself in a stress response demands awareness of your emotions, understanding and differentiating them, and your physical reactions during those experiences. Now, what can help is exploring the Plutchik's wheel of emotions, which provides a really simple and logical way to make sense of the emotions that you're experiencing them, better understand them, better learn to differentiate them, and better understand what physical experiences accompany emotions. And I'll provide an interesting link to an article that describes in more detail the wheel of emotions. And thirdly, make a commitment in your life to develop a deeper understanding, deeper level of self-awareness and understanding your personality. And a great way to start is to subscribe to the podcast. And for the entrepreneurs listening, join the Emotionally Intelligent Entrepreneur community, where in a group of like-minded entrepreneurs, you will be able to grow and develop together. You can find the link to the community in the description to the episode as well. This is it for the topic of today. Before you continue your day, I want to invite you to share comments or write me an email. What have you learned from the episode today? What was useful? What was insightful? Or maybe what left you confused? As well as what action commitments do you take on for the upcoming weeks based on what you took away today? Looking forward to hearing from you. And thank you for joining me on this journey of growth and self-discovery. Remember, your emotional intelligence is the key to unlocking your entrepreneurial potential. Stay tuned and let's grow together.